Hello, I am Bert Janssen. Welcome back to the series of short videos in which I explain the book, The Organizing Principle, There Are No Coincidences. In previous videos, I have shown how the instruments of the organizing principle, and especially the ultimate instrument, squaring the circle, is hiding at places that were pivotal for our evolution, places that were turning points in our history, like the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, Stonehenge in England, the Avebury Complex in Wiltshire, Aachen Cathedral in Germany, where Charlemagne, the founder of modern Europe, lies buried, St. Peter's Square in Rome in Italy, CERN near Geneva at the Franco-Swiss border. Although all these places have a human connection, squaring the circle, the ultimate tool of the organizing principle, a tool which I prefer to call the shape of spirit, is a universal concept and instrument. When we take, for instance, the Earth and stack the Moon on top of her, we generate squaring the circle. Or in other words, the shape of spirit is directly connected to the Earth and to the Moon. And here we see one of those curious coincidences again. The measurements of the Earth and the Moon in miles are identical to the measurements we can find at Stonehenge in feet. What are the odds? The Earth contains another instance of squaring the circle in a very peculiar and interesting way. The cycles of life as we know them on Earth exist because of our seasons. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. We have seasons because the axis around which the Earth spins is tilted. And this tilting has as a consequence that in certain times of the year the northern hemisphere is facing the sun. Summer on the northern hemisphere. And during other periods of the year, the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. Winter on the northern hemisphere. The most northern point the sun reaches is indicated by the Tropic of Cancer, and the sun reaches that point on the longest day of the year on the northern hemisphere, the summer solstice. And the most southern point the sun reaches is indicated by the Tropic of Capricorn. And the sun reaches that point on the shortest day of the year on the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice. The distance between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn is determined by the angle under which the Earth's axis is tilted. If the tilting would have been less, the tropics would have been closer to each other. And if the tilting would have been more, the tropics would have been further apart from each other. And now comes one of these curious coincidences again. we can construct two circles that exactly fit between the tropics. And subsequently we can construct a square that exactly fits around those two circles. That square has a perimeter that is identical to the circumference of the Earth, squaring the circle. Now do realize that if the tilting of the Earth's axis would have been less, the tropics would have been closer to each other. The two circles would have been smaller, and consequently the square would have been smaller, and squaring the circle would not have been generated. Or if the Earth's axis would have tilted under a greater angle, the tropics would have been further apart from each other, and the two circles would have been bigger, and the square would have been bigger as well. And again, squaring the circle would not have been generated. Only with the tilting of the Earth's axis as it is squaring the circle the ultimate tool of the organizing principle generated. Or is it the other way around? Does the organizing principle, by using its ultimate tool, take care that the Earth's axis is tilted as it is? Is the organizing principle responsible for this tilting? Is the organizing principle responsible for our seasons? Is the organizing principle responsible for the cycles of life? Responsible for life.